So there is a reason why most people never become wealthy. Now, maybe you're wondering why you can't get ahead, why your friends and family are getting ahead, and why you can't. Or maybe you have a friend or family member that you need to pass this video along to because there are things that are keeping them from becoming wealthy. Well, the number one reason that I see around this issue is it's people's beliefs around money, right? That money is evil, or that, just the habits that we've gotten that we start to believe. A lot of times these things are actually inherited, meaning you didn't actually make a choice to believe this, or a friend didn't make a choice to believe it. It's the family they grew up in, or it's the culture that's telling them things that, about how they should invest, or what they should do or shouldn't do, or how they should spend. And I've spoken with, as a registered investment advisor in the past, I spoke with many investors, and I saw some really wacky beliefs around money. And so we're going to get into kind of that and how people can change and think differently about money and really impact their financial future in a very positive way. So we're going to go over basically 3 common beliefs that people have that keep them poor. And I'm going to share a great quote for you at the end, so stick around. All right. So just a quick disclaimer, even though I was an investment advisor, I'm not your investment advisor. I'm not an investment advisor anymore, so make your own investment decisions. This is just educational. So the first point really is that the belief is that bad debt is good and good debt is bad, right? When things are topsy-turvy, when somebody calls something bad that's good or good that's bad, it's really going to dramatically affect the way that they live their life, particularly when it comes to money. So what I mean by this is people will love bad debt, or maybe they won't say they love it, but by their actions will show that they actually love it, right? So credit card debt. Credit card debt is typically between 15 and 24% annually. It's absolutely terrible. If you have credit card debt and you don't pay the full balance off every month, I would say just don't have a credit card. Like, I have lots of credit cards and I use credit cards, I use the points, but I have auto pay, so it just pays it off at the end of every month. If I don't have the money, I don't spend the money on those things. If you want a great investment, you're looking for higher returns, just pay off your credit card debt. You're gonna get a great return versus looking for other types of investments. Just pay off, if you want a good return, you might get a 24% return just by simply paying off your credit card. So we love credit cards, we love these things as our culture because we can benefit today without having to pay for it until tomorrow or somewhere down the road. So a lot of times people will use these to buy liabilities, right? Liability, as Robert Kiyosaki says, it's something that takes money out of your pocket each month. And an asset is something that puts money in your pocket every month, right? So it's something to think about. Is what you're buying, does it take money out of your pocket or put it in your pocket? Trips, cars, stuff, these things typically take money out of your pocket every month. So a lot of times the public, or as a whole society in general on a personal level, will say, oh, we love all these things and we love doing this because we can easy finance, easy terms, and but these things actually are liabilities. So that's one example, is loving bad debt. The other one is disliking good debt. There's a lot of gurus out there that talk about you should pay off all debts, you should even pay cash for your homes, you should do everything in cash, everything cash. Well, I would say that's absolutely untrue, because an example of this is I got a personal line of credit, unsecured personal line of credit, which just means a bank loaned me $100,000 at 2.75%, and it was a 10-year fixed loan that I'm able to use this $100K that I got to invest it in other deals, and I know I can get about a 15% annualized return. Pretty good, right? Pretty good return. But the nice thing about that is that it actually is, I consider that to be very, very good debt, because I'm borrowing at a low rate, I'm getting a much higher rate of return. Obviously, you have to consider the risks, consider the other factors to that, but that's something to look at. Another example of this is, as this video is coming out, interest rates for 30-year mortgages are exploding, right? In December of 2021, they were averaged 2.9%. At the time of recording this video, they're in the mid-5s, so they're around 5.5%, and probably by the time this comes out, it'll be even higher. So rates are continuing to go up. If you have an interest rate, even at 5.5%, a 30-year fixed, and it's for a long term, and inflation is 8.5 to 10 or 20%, depending on how you measure it, the asset really is not just the house, it is the loan, right? Because you're going to pay off that debt in future dollars that are worth less due to inflation, and you're also getting, to use this asset for that period of time. So anyway, so it's something to really think about is when you look at, there actually is such thing as good debt if you're able to use it to grow wealth and actually own assets versus using it for liabilities. The second thing here is what my friend Warren Buffett talks about: diversification. All right, so the second belief that keeps people poor about money is the belief that you have to diversify incredibly, right? You've got to be diversified in mutual funds and in index funds, and you got to be in many, many different deals. I know a guy who's invested in over 70 different deals, real estate and other types of deals, and I just think it's too much, right? Warren Buffett, who I say, a friend of mine, I haven't met him, but just really admire his stuff. He says this, 3 to 6 investments can offer diversification. He says that all one needs is 3 wonderful businesses to get rich. And he's also noted that 6 wonderful businesses can be all the diversification that you need. Now that's very different than the common Wall Street idea. And he also says this, Warren Buffett says this, he says, why diversification is only required when investors do not understand what they're doing, right? So if you want to actually learn and research and do work and actually get more information, you don't actually have to be that diversified. Some people get very, very wealthy, it's because they really look, instead of all their eggs in one basket, they put it all in one basket and they just watch it very closely, right? They really make sure they understand that. So there's a belief that you have to diversify just everywhere and anywhere. Diversification, it is, if you don't know what you're doing, it's great because it will get upsides, downsides, it will kind of balance things out for you. But if you really want to be wealthy, you have to be willing to put it out there and to concentrate in fewer things. And even 3 to 6 businesses, as one of the wealthiest guys in the world has said, one of the most successful investors ever, something to consider. So instead of diversification, get educated, learn what you need to do, really help you on your path. And the third and final thing I wanted to say is that a lot of people, the belief that keeps people poor is that they can trust traditional investments. And I've done a lot of videos about this. I was an investment advisor for several years. That Wall Street has done an excellent job of spending billions of dollars to convince us that stocks and bonds and other investments are actually traditional, when actually really they're paper assets. They're not real assets, as opposed to we call real estate real estate, right? It's actually something that's physically real. When you own a stock, what do you actually own? You own a percentage of that, but it's a paper thing. There's other risks involved. Stocks and bonds can crash substantially. Stocks, you look at the stock market, many times over the last 50 to 100 years, we've had crashes of 30 to 50%. Very, very risky, right? Makes other sorts of asset classes, when you just look at that, actually seem much, much safer. Bonds right now, as interest rates are rising, bonds people currently hold are being destroyed, being really devalued, because newer bonds are having to come out with higher interest rates because of just rates going up. So something to be really concerned about as you watch your stocks, your bonds, your portfolio. I think what you're doing here and educating yourself is the best thing that you can do. Encourage you to watch more videos like this, pick up good books on finance. And I want to share this quote from my friend Dave Zook, who's raised over $500 million for multifamily, other types of real estate, energy space, and other sorts of assets. Great guy. He says, you can be conventional or you can be wealthy. Pick one. Right? So you have to be willing to do something that is a bit unconventional if you want to get results that are unconventional. If you want to see the secret of my story of how I 15x'd my net worth, you can check it out up here. That was a video I had a lot of fun putting together, talking about specifically how I did that. And then also I want to see in the comments below, what's one belief on money that kept you poor, that maybe you've changed? So stick that in the comments below. Thanks for taking the time to educate yourself. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.